Some of these are from my private things I say to my therapist. Okay. Okay. I'm tempted to break my own rules when it comes to. Okay, my own rules. What are my own rules? So I think rules sound rigid and annoying. And but sometimes I have certain guidelines for myself, you know. Like if we're talking about love, intimacy, there's this idea about, you know, I want to get close to someone who shares my values and we're on the same page for the important things. And then I meet someone and they don't necessarily share all my values or the same lifestyle, but there's some sparks there and I don't understand why and it makes no logical sense. And so I was flirting with this owner of a sandwich shop and, you know, like I felt a sudden rush of joy and it made no sense at all for many reasons that we already knew things about each other. So yeah, I broke my own rules by like expending all this energy. So yeah, I'm definitely tempted to break my own rules when it comes to X factor, unexpected magical feelings that break the rules of logic and wisdom.
Oh God, that's real.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, there you go. Just want to complicate things.
Thank you. All right, last but not least.
Oh. I mean, how real do we want to get?
Real is as words that I can't say right now because I don't want to offend anyone's ears.
It says my experience with death has been.
Ooh.
It's been the death of my mother, passed away in 2006. She had Lou Gehrig's ALS. And
May her memory be blessed.
Thank you. So it was a very, oh God, I mean, we could be here for an hour talking about this, so I don't want to get too deep into it. But, you know, I was quite young, so it was difficult. It's almost more difficult later and like well into adulthood because there are so many questions that I have. And one thing I think that always comes up for me is that what makes me really sad is that I never had the chance to have a sort of friendship relationship with my mom. So yeah, that has been my experience with death. That was the first and last time I ever actually saw somebody dying, which was also a trip. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. And the first time and the last time I've sat Shiva is for my father. So not to make it like, you know, but.
No, it's not that. You're sharing.
Thank you.
It makes people feel connected.
Thank you. Yeah. So it's, and that's the only time I've seen someone in a, you know, lifeless. So I just want to say like it can feel lonely and you're not alone. And at the same time, just my heart's with you.
Thank you. And mine with you.
Thank you. Well, that was lighthearted. You thought it was probably like, who do you have a crush on?
Yeah. Good.
Thank you.
And it was real.
Okay, good.
I prefer real. You know?
I feel
Yeah. I think that these are deep questions that kind of get at like the elements of what love is about, right?
Yeah.
It's about our connections with each other and the people that we love.
Yeah, imagine if like these are the conversations that we're always having at the table.
Yeah,
You know, when we see
right,
each other,
right.
like not how
Wow.
are you, you know, but like what's.
I'd be so good with that. if
Me
I'm being
too.
honest.
I don't like small talk.
Yeah.
I know, that's
Like
great.
small talk.
I also lost a parent, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay, you're part of the
we're on the same club.
What year?
6 years ago, almost.
Sorry.
Yeah, very close to the yard site.
So your mom or your?
My biological father. Yeah. May his memory be blessed. But I guess I said that, you know, in a light way, but also as a way to say, like, what would it be like if we just, as you said, cut through and got real, and then now we kind of know some level without knowing everything.
We're so much more connected, I think, than we think, because we don't know what each person's walking around with until they share.
Right.
But I feel more connected to both of you, and I've just really met both of you after you both said that.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, for me, when I have to sit there and bullshit my way through a conversation, I feel even less connected because I'm so annoyed that I have to even do it.
Yeah.
But this is the way society's set up, and
Man. So I guess we walk into our holidays with these questions.
what's up? My mom's dead. How are you?
How you doing? My mother died. Maybe we just walk around with these cards.
In the physical realm, in the metaphysical realm, they may be.
Well, that's why my tattoo, by the way. Oh, I'm wearing long sleeves. You can't really see it, but it's basically my mom's name in Persian, Shahla, on a box.
I read that.
But it's sitting on a bed of roses because she loved flowers. And then the bar breaks off and turns into all these birds that are
Oh, that's
flying
beautiful.
off.
Very nice.
To symbolize like she's
wow.
not gone, she's just changed
Yeah.
form.
Right. I love that.
That's cool. Wow.
It's like, how do we have these conversations when sometimes when you're in that space and if someone's like, how are you? And you're like, well, my mother died, you know.
Yeah.
But society's not set up for that, and it's really actually upsetting. Like, you hear people make jokes about that, like, oh, so and so, such a downer. Like, you know, you're expected to be somewhat fake. And
Yeah.
that's-
It's very much also just like I think a product of like capitalist society. Like we have to be very, very production oriented. Like there's no time for that sadness or right like and I also think like especially now with social media, there's so much performative.
Yeah.
Even in circles, like just social circles, or you know, you don't get to sort of go deep on some of those issues.
So now that we've gotten like all types of vulnerable, which really I believe is the way to love. Like my therapist tells me if I don't let that wall down, it's too real.
Okay, I feel like when I let the wall down, it sends men running in the other direction. So, like, what do I do?
But maybe your person, like your person or persons, like doesn't have to end with one, will be like, you know, this is you. I dig it.
That's what I figure. The right person won't run, and that's how you'll know.
I don't have the
Exactly.
answers. I want to, but I'm like single. So I'm like, but I'm super curious to start off with you, Ray. Like not that you need to be the spokesperson of this, but how do we make more room for queer love at the Jewish table during the holidays?
As the leader of the queer Jews, I'm here to tell all. How do we make more space for queer love? I mean, well, first of all, let queer people be, exist, live, love, be equal participants in all of Jewish spaces. And specifically for Tu B'Av, I'm not actually sure because I don't know what people do on Tu B'Av. Does anybody know?
Well, theoretically, well, there's a tradition of, you know, women, but I would say anyone of any gender wearing white and going out into the field, and you know that's supposed to represent purity. But also, white is a good color on many people, I think. But in any event, so go be with nature, I guess.
That's good. I can do that. Anyone can be in nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the like people going out into the fields and or women going out into the fields and wearing white. Not for me, but I think everyone should just go into the field and frolic in whatever they want to and make out.
Can we actually I feel really weird that we don't have a definition of Tu B'Av.
It's a minor holiday.
So why is it associated with love?
Well, I do know for sure, first there's the mourning part, right? There's this dialectic in Jewish experience of like painful things that involve suffering or sense of darkness, and then
Like the questions.
and then also celebration afterwards. And so the 9th of Av, which precedes it by 6 days, is like you know, a day of fasting. It's like a time when the ancient temple in Jerusalem the walls were breached, and you know, and it also represents like other negative things happen to the Jewish community over the centuries on that day. So at some point the rabbis were like, let's mourn on this day collectively. And then somehow this emerged, I think somewhere in, God, we need like our Jewish scholarly like backup here, but I think
I'm so sorry that like I'm not
medieval
it.
times or something, like as a mystical tradition. So maybe related to Kabbalistic practices,
Yeah.
this idea of going out But why on the 15th?
Like, please, someone look this up and don't
Go
take our
look
word
this up.
for it. Okay, we're gonna
Go
break
look this up. That's your homework.
Like, look it up. Don't take. But we're talking about it, and that's real. That there are so many Jewish holidays, and they all are very significant, but different levels, and we don't all know exactly what they all are. But a lot of them have to do with sometimes grieving, sadness, happiness, trees, nature.
A lot of them are very land-based. A lot of them are land-based, specific to the land of Israel. So I have a feeling Tu B'Av is in some way as well.
Very good. Do we have like a psychic in here that can, instead of Googling? And then also, I know you work with an organization.
Yeah.
And
So I work for an organization called JEMENA, and that's an acronym for Jews Indigenous to the Middle East and North Africa. And we work to achieve recognition of the almost 1 million Jewish refugees that came out of Middle Eastern and North African lands in the 20th century and their descendants. And it's interesting that I think you asked how we can ensure that queer people are, what was the question?
yeah, like how do we make space for queer love at the Jewish table, for our holidays, for our Tu B'Avs and beyond?
So I think it's just a question of not making a big fuss about it and just accepting that it's there, which is something that I'm very proud that the organization that I work for does. For me specifically, we're a very small organization. I'm the only LGBTQ plus person on staff. But I know for a fact that it has come up with, I don't think it's come up often, but I do know that it's come up with donors. It's come up at speaking engagements that I've done in like very conservative parts of the country. And it's never a discussion because it doesn't need to be, but when it does need to be, such as in those instances, my boss will shut it down. And so
What do they ask?
What's the discussion that's being shut down?
I mean, I don't want to get too much into the specific things, but like, for example, I was sent to speak in, was it Dallas or Houston, so a few years ago, and it was with teens, and the talk that I was giving included my LGBT identity, and one of the mothers happened to be there, and she was not happy at all. And I just started working at JEMENA, so I was freaked out when I got back. I was on a call with my boss, and I was like, I don't know what to do. She was upset, this and that. And my boss was just like, you pissed her off? I was like, yeah, I pissed her off. She's like, good, then you're doing your job as an activist. And I was like, all right, if it's like that, we're good. You know what I mean? So it's just to ensure that your LGBTQ plus people of your community, or in my case, in the organization that I work for, know that they're held up and accepted, and that they have our backs. Like that, I think that's just what it comes down to. I don't think it needs to be like this big thing, it just is like.
And it's not even about activism necessarily, because I have close friends and family members who identify as gay, and it's like, they're not being activists, they're just being normal. They're being authentic. This is a natural part of human life for centuries, and in cultures like we see it in our text tradition. Why is King David like the Psalms of David are written in male language to a male partner. These are love songs. So activism, great, but also there's this criticism like, oh, activists being extremist. No, also people who aren't activists are just living their natural lives, being who they are and how they were born that way.
Yeah, I think there needs to be space for both, right?
Right.
The activists are a huge part of the reason that there are so many rights for queer people today.
Right.
And also some queer people, they just want to live their lives. Like they don't want, and like not every queer person wants to be asked about it and been like, this is what I'm gonna, they just want to have a night, and they just want to maybe they want to get married, they want to have kids, they want to send their kids to nice schools, nice Jewish schools. What?
Just live your life.
Just live their lives.
Yeah.
I'm really involved in this group called ESHEL, which is LGBTQ Orthodox adjacent, formerly Orthodox group, because I grew up Orthodox, and like so many people in this group they go to Orthodox synagogues, and they have their kids and they go to Orthodox schools, and they just want to teach their children the Torah portion around the table on Shabbat, and sing Shabbat songs around the table. They're not activists, but the fact that they're able to do that is because of so many activists, I believe, that have come before them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So with that, I think, and thank you for sharing, not that you at the same time need to be like, but I asked. I think you have you said you wanted to do something today that you were a little mysterious about it to bring in to help us like ground and open up to love. Can you share what that is?
Yes. I have been moved by this conversation, and I just want to say I'm really loving learning about everyone's take on things and the organizations you're a part of. And the themes here relate to what I wanted to share. So there is this beautiful prayer in Judaism that we are instructed to say in the morning. Elohai neshama shenafata b'forai. My God, the soul that you've placed within me, it is pure. And the word neshama, I think, is soul. I think it's also a word for breath. And so I wanted to offer us a loving kindness meditation that centers on love for ourselves and also love for the other, because there's another piece of Torah that's very powerful, which is the ahavta l'ra'ayacha kamocha, the commandment that we have to love our neighbor as ourselves. And who is our neighbor? Could be someone who's very similar or very different than us. So I thought we would practice that together. I've done this for community members and, people at work. So what do you say?
Yeah.
Are you interested for some self-love and love for each other? And others? So there's this idea that to do mindfulness or meditation, you have to be sitting on a cushion or, looking like a yogi, wearing yoga clothes, or on a Buddhist retreat somewhere. And, but no, that's not true. We can practice mindfulness or present moment awareness at any point in time, even when you're wearing a little dress like this, which even to me seems a little odd, but I have to remind myself that being connected to the very present moment with an intention on purpose is always accessible, no matter what we're doing. So I'm going to invite all of us right now in this moment to get present moment aware, and I'll guide us in that loving kindness meditation, which is a part of Eastern practice, but very connected to our Jewish values too, and our conversation today. So I invite everyone to benefit the most by getting connected to what is most obvious, which is our physical, starting in the body. So feet flat on the floor, body fully supported by the chair. If you feel comfortable, you can have your hands rest on your lap, over your belly, one on the heart, whatever is comfortable for you. And you can close down the eyes if you want, or gaze softly at the floor. And we'll begin by really observing the body. Wherever you are, it is in a physical space. Observe the temperature on your skin. Observe being supported wherever you're seated. And now observe the breath, breathing deeply in. And exhale a little longer if you can. Really nice. I can hear the exhales, breathing deeply in. Exhale a little more deeply. Again, breathing deeply in. At your own pace, continuing to exhale deeply, knowing that during this practice, you can receive all that is beneficial and release anything you don't need. Softening in the shoulders, the space between your eyebrows, softening the jaw, and making this practice your own. We're now going to turn to the intention of Ve'ahavta l'ra'ayacha kamocha, love your neighbor as yourself. So bringing to mind a neighbor, a loved one, someone that is so easy to love, no complications around it. Could even be a pet. And now sending compassion their way, however far or near they are. Perhaps repeating, may they be filled with loving kindness, repeating internally, may they be peaceful and at ease. May they be safe and healthy. May they be wise and joyful. May they be strong and calm. And any wish of love, kindness, chesed, that you wish for them. And now turning our awareness and intention towards chesed, loving kindness for ourselves. Repeating internally, may I be filled with loving kindness. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be safe and healthy. May I be wise and joyful. May I be strong and calm. And any wish of love and kindness and compassion for yourself. Knowing we can always return to this practice wherever we are, simply by connecting to our breath and our body. And now closing with a prayer for peace for all living beings around the world. Amen. And now gently opening your eyes and looking around, gently feeling energy come back into the limbs, fully present, and observing any shifts that we might feel after the practice, and just taking a moment to take stock of that. That's also the awareness. Wow, I feel different after this. I don't know about you all.
Yeah.
I don't know why I always want to laugh whenever I try a meditation. Like, I really want to laugh.
Oh yeah, that's normal.
Okay, good.
Totally normal. Yeah, wandering mind, urges to laugh, to burp,
Oh.
other bodily things. Yeah, it's all welcome.
Chicka chicka on.